A major economic announcement from Canada is drawing immediate attention from financial markets and lawmakers on both sides of the border. According to early reports and official statements, Canadian leaders have unveiled a significant economic move that could influence trade flows, investment decisions, and policy discussions across North America. Within minutes of the announcement, analysts, market observers, and government officials began assessing what the development could mean for businesses, international partners, and the broader global economy. While the full implications are still being evaluated, the announcement has already sparked reactions from financial markets and policymakers, particularly in the United States, where Canada remains one of the country's most important economic partners. So what exactly has Canada announced, and why are markets and lawmakers paying such close attention? To understand the importance of this development, it helps to first look at the broader economic relationship between Canada and its global partners. Canada is one of the world's largest advanced economies and plays a major role in global trade. The country is rich in natural resources, maintains a highly developed financial system, and serves as a key trading partner for several major economies, including the United States, the European Union, and countries across Asia. Among those relationships, the economic connection between Canada and the United States is particularly significant. Every day, billions of dollars in goods and services cross the U.S.-Canada border. Industries such as energy, agriculture, manufacturing, technology, and finance depend heavily on this cross-border exchange. Much of the trade relationship between the United States, Canada, and Mexico is governed by the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, known as the USMCA. This agreement sets the framework for trade rules across North America and was designed to modernize economic cooperation among the three countries. Because of this deep integration, major economic decisions made in Canada often attract close attention in Washington and on global markets. According to official statements, Canada's latest economic move involves a set of policy actions aimed at strengthening the country's economic position in a rapidly changing global environment. While details vary depending on the specific policies involved, analysts suggest the announcement could relate to areas such as investment strategies, industrial policy, trade measures, or fiscal initiatives designed to support domestic economic growth. Canadian officials have indicated that the goal of the policy move is to enhance economic resilience, support key industries, and position Canada for long-term competitiveness. In remarks to the press, representatives from the Canadian government emphasized that the country is responding to evolving global economic conditions. Over the past several years, governments around the world have faced a series of economic challenges, including supply chain disruptions, inflation pressures, technological competition, and shifting trade dynamics. In response, many countries have introduced policies designed to strengthen domestic industries while maintaining international economic partnerships. According to analysts, Canada's announcement appears to fit within this broader trend. Almost immediately after the announcement, financial markets began reacting. Market analysts say investors often respond quickly to major economic policy decisions, especially when they involve large economies or key trading partners. Initial reactions can include shifts in currency markets, stock indexes, and commodity prices as investors attempt to assess how new policies may influence economic growth, corporate earnings, and trade flows. Some financial experts note that market responses do not always reflect long-term outcomes. Instead, early reactions often represent investors adjusting to new information while evaluating the potential impacts. Still, the attention from financial markets highlights how closely global investors monitor policy decisions made by major economies like Canada. Lawmakers have also begun weighing in. In Ottawa, members of Canada's Parliament are reportedly reviewing the details of the announcement and discussing how the new policies could affect the country's economic outlook. Supporters of the move argue that proactive economic strategies can help strengthen national industries, create jobs, and ensure that the country remains competitive in a rapidly evolving global economy. Others have raised questions about how the policies will be implemented and what their long-term effects may be. Debates over economic policy are common in democratic systems, particularly when governments introduce large initiatives affecting trade, investment, or public spending. Meanwhile, lawmakers and policymakers in the United States are also paying close attention. The United States and Canada share one of the most integrated economic relationships in the world, and policy changes in one country can often have ripple effects in the other. Members of the U.S. Congress, as well as officials in federal agencies responsible for trade and economic policy, are reportedly analyzing the announcement to determine whether it could influence American industries or cross-border trade. Some analysts suggest that the reaction in Washington will depend on how Canada's new policies interact with existing trade agreements and economic frameworks. If the measures are seen as supporting shared economic goals, they could lead to greater cooperation between the two countries. If concerns arise about potential trade impacts, discussions between policymakers may follow. Several key industries could be particularly affected by Canada's economic move. Energy is one area where policy changes can have immediate implications. Canada is one of the largest suppliers of energy resources to the United States, including oil, natural gas, and electricity. Any policy affecting investment, production, or environmental regulations within Canada's energy sector can influence regional markets. Manufacturing is another sector closely tied to the economic relationship between the two countries. North America's manufacturing supply chains are highly interconnected. Components used in industries such as automotive production often cross borders multiple times before final assembly. Because of this integration, policy shifts that influence manufacturing investment or industrial strategy can affect companies operating throughout the region. Technology and innovation are also becoming increasingly important in economic policy making. Many governments are investing heavily in research, digital infrastructure, and advanced manufacturing technologies. Some analysts believe Canada's announcement may include initiatives aimed at strengthening technological development and supporting innovation-driven industries. Beyond North America, global observers are also watching closely. Canada's economy plays a significant role in global markets, particularly in sectors such as energy, mining, agriculture, and financial services. Policy decisions affecting these industries can influence international commodity markets and trade relationships. For example, changes in resource development strategies can impact global supply chains for minerals and energy products. Similarly, new investment initiatives could attract international businesses looking to expand operations in stable and advanced economies. As analysts review Canada's latest announcement, several broader themes are emerging. One theme involves economic resilience. Over the past decade, governments around the world have increasingly focused on strengthening their economies against external shocks. This includes building more reliable supply chains, supporting strategic industries, and investing in new technologies. Another theme involves economic competition. As global markets evolve, countries often introduce policies designed to attract investment and support domestic industries. Balancing these goals with international trade commitments can sometimes require careful negotiation with global partners. A third theme involves economic cooperation. Despite growing competition in certain sectors, many advanced economies continue to rely heavily on partnerships with allies and trading partners. Canada's economic relationship with the United States, for example, remains one of the most important bilateral economic partnerships in the world. Because of this interconnectedness, policymakers in both countries often engage in ongoing dialogue to ensure that economic policies remain compatible with shared interests. Experts also emphasize that it may take time for the full effects of Canada's announcement to become clear. Large economic policies often unfold gradually, with impacts emerging over months or even years. In the short term, markets and analysts will continue studying the details of the announcement. Investors will look for signals about how the policies may influence growth, trade, and industry development. Businesses will evaluate how the new measures could affect investment opportunities and operational strategies. Meanwhile, lawmakers and government officials will continue assessing the broader policy implications. In many cases, major economic initiatives lead to follow-up discussions between governments, industry groups, and international partners. Such discussions can help clarify policy details and ensure that economic cooperation remains strong. Looking ahead, several possible outcomes could emerge. Canada's policies could encourage new investments, stimulate economic growth, and strengthen key industries. They could also lead to new discussions with international partners about trade rules, supply chains, and economic coordination. For the United States, the situation highlights the importance of maintaining close communication with one of its most important economic partners. Strong economic ties between the two countries have historically supported stability and growth across North America. For global markets, Canada's announcement is another reminder that government policies can play a major role in shaping economic trends. As investors and policymakers continue reviewing the details, the broader impact of the move will become clearer. What remains certain is that decisions made by major economies like Canada often resonate far beyond their borders. From financial markets to legislative chambers, the conversation about Canada's latest economic move is just beginning. And as analysts, investors, and policymakers continue to assess the situation, attention will remain focused on how this decision may shape economic relationships in the months ahead. If you want more clear analysis on global politics and major developments shaping the world, make sure to subscribe and stay informed.